guess we can start off with um, iOS 16. I think that's probably one of the bigger ones. Any faves or favorite features from iOS 16 that you're looking forward to?
Probably is going to be the shared iCloud library that solves a problem of multiple users in my family who use iPhones and take pictures, like family trips, things of that nature.
Mhm.
Having to corral all of those pictures for a family trip. The shared iCloud library, once you select it and get people to understand, okay, now you can take this picture, and if we're in proximity of each other or we're taking pictures of the same things, you can set it to where that will automatically upload to a shared iCloud library that anybody that has access to it, you can get those pictures versus having to go around to each device and begging people to upload them to the shared library. You turn it on, take the pictures, and the cloud and the photos is smart enough to know, okay, you want to put these in the cloud, but you can specify, like, if I've got pictures on my phone that are just mine that don't need to be in the quote unquote family shared library, I can select those to stay on the device or in my own iCloud account. So that was a good one. Another one would be the lock screen. There are a lot of customization that you can do to the lock screen, adding widgets, similar like to adding complications to a watch face. Um, I'm not really all that jazzed about the send and unsend text messages. It'll
It
come
was
in
fun. It
handy.
was Yeah, and it was fun on Twitter because folks were getting jokes off, of course.
Yeah, and of course that's what people do, really not
Yeah.
understanding that um, if you send a message, you have 15 minutes to either unsend it or edit the message. After the 15 minutes expires, it's it's in stone, similar to any other message. So I saw people on Twitter is like, oh, uh, toxic, whatever
Yeah.
comments that people put out there,
The U ups they were talking about, if you want to take that back, or I know I saw some people talking about sending
getting receipts.
pictures.
A lot of things that people
Yeah.
do on Twitter is they'll put up
Yeah.
Twitter conversations and they're like, "Oh, you won't be able to do that with this new iOS." Yes, you will. You just won't be able to do it within the 15 minutes. So if I make a grammatical error or I send out something and that's not true or whatever the case may be, like I say, "Okay, I'll be there in 15 minutes." And then 5 minutes later, I get into a traffic jam. I can unsend that 15. I'll be there in 15 minutes and more like 35, right? But
Right.
that's about it.
Yeah.
People are going to pick at it, but yeah,
Of
it's not
course.
as a big deal as people think it's going to be.
Right. I think people, once the internet gets a hold to it and kind of spin it in the direction that they want, it takes on a whole new life, and it's like it's not quite that same way. I think for me, the lock screen was probably the biggest thing for me. Just the amount of things you can now do with the lock screen. You won't, for a lot of things that you care about, say if you got an Uber coming or if you're watching a game, those type of things, you'll be able to see from the lock screen. You can set what you want to see or what you care about seeing on the lock screen so that you don't have to unlock your phone to go into an app to do a certain thing.
Right.
And
Apple
also,
calls those live activities, but if you're familiar with live tiles from Windows Phone, you'll remember you'll get at a glance information. And like for instance, right now you can put widgets on your home screen of your iPhone, not necessarily lock screen, but the home screen,
mhm,
or not the home screen. Yeah, you can't put them on the home
it's the
screen,
home screen. Yeah.
but it's not. It's static information. It's not at a
Mhm.
glance. It's not as things change. Like Nica mentioned, the one that pops out as your head is if you purchase an Uber or order an Uber and you have that Uber widget, you'll be able to see actually the car getting closer, not graphically or geographically on a map, but in a line, like a chronological thing. And it'll
I've never seen.
change as you're looking at
Yeah.
it versus it being static to where you're just looking at information, but it doesn't
Right.
change.
Right. I think that's pretty cool. And I was looking at some of the imaging, and it's kind of like you can swipe filters on your lock screen similar to if you're on like Instagram or something and you're swiping like the colors or whatever. So I think that's pretty cool. I think the other thing that I also liked, um, from the, I guess, safety perspective is the safety check. And that is essentially giving you access to, to change who has access to your phone, tracking,
Yeah, like security
notification.
features, like
Yeah,
Find
security
My.
feature. Hmm.
If you're sharing, like say boyfriend and girlfriend, you're sharing your location, you're sharing iCloud photo library, you're sharing contacts, you're sharing data storage and like the iCloud,
Passwords. Yep.
you're sharing passwords. The safety check, if you need to fire it off, it'll separate all that stuff at one time. So,
Hmm.
like you say, if you are worried about being threatened, you feel like you're in danger from your significant other, trying to go through and remember each individual thing. Okay, I need to turn this
Right.
off. I need to turn that off. I need to stop
Right.
this. I need to stop that. The safety check will lop all that off at one time.
Yep. Yeah, you can do an emergency reset and it'll stop sharing any locations, messages, sign them out of the iCloud, change, the ID. And what they mentioned during the keynote was specifically for people who are in domestic violence situations, that gives them a way to make a, if they are leaving, it gives them a way to make a clean break, because we know technology can be used for to manipulate people, to hold people hostage, to
And it
arrest,
ain't
those
even,
type of things.
probably domestic violence is the main thing, but I saw a
Hmm.
story just last week to where the girlfriend found out that the boyfriend was cheating,
Hmm.
found his location, went to the restaurant wherever
Isn't
the guy
that
was,
funny? Yeah.
got into an argument. The restaurant or the place wherever they was at told them to, all right, take it outside. They went outside. The girlfriend got in the car, hit the dude, and then ran over him multiple
Ran over
times.
him.
Right. So now she's brought up on murder charges, and the dude is
He's
dead.
dead.
Right.
He's out of here.
All because she was able to find him via Find My. So, again, I would suggest not use it to hide where you are for nefarious reasons, but,
Hmm.
being able to um quickly add an extra layer of data privacy and security can help in a large swath of different
A lot of
scenarios.
use cases
Right,
for this
right.
particular feature. So yeah. So that is our thoughts on iPad OS. I mean
Well,
iOS
yeah, that was
16.
iOS.
Yeah, that was iOS 16.
Another one, real fast,
Hmm.
is they stepped up Mail, the native Mail client. That gives you the ability to unsend email messages similar to iMessages, but you can also schedule a message. Like, say, for instance, I'm up in the middle of the night, something pops in my head. I want to send an email because I don't want to forget. Well, instead of sending that email to the recipient at 1 o'clock in the morning, you can schedule an email to go out at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock the next day. So one, they'll see it, and two, it's not something that if they're trying to sleep and you're sending them an email, they're not getting those pings in the middle of the night.
Right.
So that was a
Yeah.
cool one that I'm definitely going to take advantage of.
And I think another thing we probably should mention passkeys. So going into a more passwordless society, Apple's bringing in passkeys, as a different way to kind of manage, replace, handle any of your logins or security type things. And specifically, this using this passkey, it never leaves your device, so it's not susceptible to phishing. So on the security front, which you talk about a lot, that is going to be helpful as well. And another thing, I think may be interesting to note and to definitely keep an eye out on, in the wallet update, Apple now has pay later, similar to your what Klarna and all the
Affirm,
Affirm,
PayPal.
yeah, all those
Mhm.
other places, they have now gotten into the kind of pay now.
Yeah, basically gonna front you some money and let you pay over time.
Mhm. Over 6 weeks, I believe.
Four
Uh,
payments. I don't know
four
how
payments.
long. I don't know
What was it?
the distance or the time frame, but they break it out in four equal payments. But you do have to
Okay.
apply, so you
Yeah.
just can't use it. But if you are approved, similar to PayPal and Affirms and other ones, um, it's accepted anywhere Apple Pay is accepted. So you don't have
Right.
to have an Apple credit card. You don't have to do the typical traditional installment plan, and it don't have to be on Apple devices. It can be on anything as
Right.
long as that merchant accepts Apple Pay.
Accepts Apple Pay. And
Mhm.
it does say it splits it in, like Terrance said, into 4 equal payments over 6 weeks. And
Oh,
then
over
you can
6 weeks.
track
Okay.
over 6 weeks, and you can track what you owe and when you owe it in the wallet app.
Yeah.
So
Be
that's
careful with those things out there,
yeah,
folks. I
because
mean, I
it is a soft pull on your credit. It's not a hard one, but it's one of those things where you can easily get wrapped up in overextending yourself if you aren't careful.
right.
So yeah, like Terrence said, be careful. I think you posted something. Did you post like an article, I believe, or something on your social media about it
No, it
too?
was just that. It was
Oh,
just
okay.
letting people know that this is out there, and it's a dope feature. But
In moderation.
similar, you can see how easy it is, how easy it could be for somebody to fall into. Okay, well, I don't have to pay $500 now. I can pay, $125, whatever, $500 broken down into 120, whatever it is. You can see how, okay, I can afford $120 over 4 payments, $125. Do the math. Over the 4 installments, and then something else comes up, $300. I can
Mhm.
do. I don't have $300, but I got whatever that $100 over
Stacking them
whatever.
up.
And before you know it, similar to the subscriptions like Netflix and Apple TV and Amazon Prime Video
Disney
and Paramount
Plus.
Plus and
Yeah.
Disney, before you know it, you knee deep in installments. And like Nica said, it's a soft pull to your credit, so it doesn't ding your credit as hard, if at all. But forget some of those payments. Your credit is going to
That's
be
going to hit the credit.
destroyed. So you got to
That
be
part hits the
careful.
credit.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's going to wrap it up for iOS 16.